You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's JPA here. In today's video I'm going to be discussing the Old Firm game tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well, and we'll just get straight into this video, guys. So as I said earlier there, Rangers versus Celtic tomorrow. It's a 12:30 kick-off. It's at Ibrox. It's available on Sky Sports. You'll most likely get it on Rangers TV as well, with it being a home game. This is going to be a really interesting one. I think if we had played Celtic maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, there'd be no doubt in my mind that Rangers would win this game very, very comfortably. But in recent weeks, Celtic have managed to get their act together. They have won their last good few fixtures. I think it's maybe 4 or 5 now on the bounce that they've won. If I look at the last 3, they won against Dundee United 3-0 at home. They won against Hamilton away from home 3-0, and they also got revenge on Ross County by beating them 2-0 at home. If you look at the last couple of head-to-heads that we've had with Celtic, we obviously won that one way back in October, 2-0, a couple of goals and headers won us the match. Previous to that, you have to go all the way back to last December, which was the 29th, and we beat them 2-1 on that occasion at Celtic Park, which gave us back-to-back wins against them at Celtic Park. Obviously the one that was supposed to be played in March was cancelled due to COVID, and Celtic, here you go, handed the title. Yeah, it's really going to be interesting, this one. The thing for me is a lot of question marks over who Celtic will play in their midfield. If they play Brown, I honestly think we'll run over the top of them in midfield. They've got this guy Sorrow, who's played in the last couple of games. He seems to be a better fit in midfield for Celtic. They've started to play Griffiths up front with Edward. So that's another change that they've kind of added in the last couple of weeks. So we've talked about Celtic, let's move that to one side and talk about what we really want to be talking about, which is Rangers. Before I give you team news, let me just say that this game has massive importance for Rangers fans and Rangers family in general because of the Ibrox disaster. This is going to be the 50th anniversary of it to the day when 66 people lost their lives. I know some Celtic fans or some sick people still joke about this. It's nothing to be joked about, regardless of what side you tend to be on. 66 people went to a football match and never came home, and that for me is something that you shouldn't really be joking about, regardless of what team you support. I will say on record that it isn't all Celtic fans, by the way. It's just a very few minority, and you get that in our support as well. You will remember the incident with Scott Brown's sister, or somebody commenting on Scott Brown's sister, who tragically passed away through cancer. So we get it on both sides, I get that. So if you're a Celtic fan watching this, don't have a go at me. I'm just saying, you do get people like that. So yeah, it's going to be a massive day, very emotional for a lot of Rangers fans. A lot of people were affected by that. A lot of fans lost family members and stuff like that. So my heart goes out to anybody who has lost someone. And obviously we'll be doing the minute silence and what have you, I'd imagine, for that. Anyway, we'll move on from that. I just wanted to kind of touch on it before I go into this. No fresh injuries from St Mirren game, so we know that he didn't really go into much detail about Ryan Jack, but I can imagine that Ryan Jack is not back in time. Arfield going to be the same. Katic is obviously out until the end of this month, could be even into February by the time we see him back again. So that's pretty much the team news. There's not a lot of news to give you, I'm afraid. There's not really much happening in terms of injuries, which is probably a good thing, apart from the 3 that we know about. In terms of our selection, this is going to be a difficult one for Gerrard. Morelos has been the speculation, if you will. Or will he start, won't he start? Hasn't scored against Celtic, which I think is unfair. I know it's what, 13 games or something now. You got to remember, in his first 6, 7 games maybe against Celtic, he was playing with absolute pish. Seriously, he was playing with people who weren't good players, with management who didn't know what they were doing. We were getting thumped every week, every time we played Celtic, and he wasn't even getting chances to score. I know in the last couple of years, under Gerrard, we have been competing more with Celtic and we've been winning more games, so you can say he maybe could have scored in the games, but it's a little bit unfair on him, I think. So yeah, will he start? In my opinion, he should start, but that means you've got to drop either Hadji or Kent or Roof, or you've got to bring somebody out of that team to put Morelos in there, which is again is unfair. For me, I think Kent has got to come back into this game. I know he's been not at his best in recent weeks, but he always kind of turns up when it's Celtic. So I'd expect him to start. I think the form that Roof's in, he's got to start as well. So I think Hadji will either drop into midfield or he's going to drop out altogether. So I'll just go straight into my prediction now. This is obviously what you've been waiting for. I'm going to go positive again. I know this is a big game. It's going to be difficult. Celtic have picked up in recent weeks. I'm not as confident as I was, as I said a couple of weeks ago. If we were playing Celtic, I would have been fully confident. Still confident we can get the win if we turn up and play the right tactics. We can expose their backline. I seen them a couple of weeks ago against Hearts in the cup final, and they really didn't look good at the back at all, with crosses coming into the box. So with delivery from Barisic and Tavernier from either side is going to be very interesting to see how they cope with that in their back line. Obviously we've got players like Davis, Hadji, Kent as well, who can deliver good balls into the box as well. Morelos is a very good passer as well. Kind of goes unnoticed sometimes, but he is a good crosser of the ball. So my prediction is going to be Rangers 2, Celtic 0. I'm going for the old 2-0 again. I was going to maybe tip them to score, but I think our defence has been really strong this season, and if we can keep them quiet in midfield and run over the top of them in midfield like we have been doing recently, then I don't think they'll get much opportunities to score. They will obviously get a couple of chances. You know, these Old Firm games, it's never one-sided. They always get a couple of opportunities as well. So yeah, that's my prediction for score. In terms of goal scoring, I'm going to go for Goldson from a header, and I'm also going to tip Morelos. Tip Morelos pretty much every time we play Celtic, and he always kind of lets me down, but I just think that goal against St Mirren's it'll give him a little bit of confidence to go and bury one, and he is due a goal. So that's the preview done. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next video.